She's back. She's back again on TikTok, complaining yet again about the inequalities and the struggles of being on food stamps. You guys' favorite welfare queen is back. Good afternoon. My name is Eddie. Welcome back to my channel. I appreciate you guys being here, stopping by, and hanging out with me. If you're new here, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the video to let me know you stopped by. I would greatly appreciate it. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get right back into the content. Like I said, if you guys saw the title of this video, then you know that your friend is back and she's complaining again about being on food stamps and how difficult she has it, because she's the one that has it difficult, right? We don't. The $4,000 in food stamps that she allegedly gets is making her life absolutely miserable. And she's back again to complain about it. So I have a new video from her. And so I'm going to go ahead and play the video. And then, of course, like we always do, we're going to come back, give our reactions and our thoughts and comments about the content in the video, okay? So just sit back, relax, and just get into it. 1 second.
I cannot believe I am saying this right now. I don't even know what's going on right now.
Neither do we.
I just tried using my EBT card at the liquor store for a pack of cigarettes, like I have done for 6 or 7 years now. My card was declined. My card was declined 5 different times. You were not allowed to buy with your EBT food stamp card anymore. They are taking everything from us. They are taking everything from us. What do we do?
I have my thoughts and ideas of what you could do, but I don't think you really want to hear those. You guys definitely have thoughts and ideas of what she could do. She doesn't want to hear anything that we have to say. So let's just get, it's giving entitled, right? Like this is giving entitled. But I will say this, I've never known a time when it was like acceptable to buy cigarettes and alcohol with food stamps. She didn't say anything about alcohol, but she did say she attempted to buy cigarettes. And she's saying that she's been buying cigarettes for the last 6 years with food stamps. I don't know that I believe it, but I also don't believe a lot of what she says. So I really don't believe this either, because I did not ever think that you could buy cigarettes with food stamps. If you can, that is news to me. So if you guys have some inside knowledge about that, then let me know in the comments, because I personally didn't think that you could do that. I even said in a previous video that you absolutely couldn't do that, because I really did believe that. So I don't know if I'm just wrong or if she's telling the truth, but I have never known a time that you could actually purchase it with food stamps. So if I'm wrong about that, you guys please let me know, because I don't want to spread misinformation, but I really did not think that you could do that. Okay, so that's number one. But number two, state of Michigan, do we need to have a chat? Do we need to have a chat, state of Michigan? I feel like food stamp reform needs to be on the agenda, if it's not already. Because if that is true that you can purchase items like that, we need to have a chat. Because cigarettes are not a necessity for anybody. Nobody's going to die without a cigarette. That is a choice. And in my opinion, if you're on food stamps, cigarettes is a luxury item. Okay, number one, they're expensive. Number two, they're dangerous. And number three, you don't need to have those around children anyway. So I don't understand why it would ever be acceptable for somebody to buy an item like that on food stamps. That's not a necessity of life. There's nothing nutritious about that. It is not on the nutrition pyramid that we all learned in school. I don't recall cigarettes, nicotine, or anything of that nature being on that pyramid. So please enlighten me, because state of Michigan, we need to have a chat about your rules and regulations, about what's on the approved list of items to buy. I don't like it if it is true. Again, I don't think it's true, but if it is true, I don't like it at all, okay? So, and did I miss the memo? When did cigarettes become food anyway? what is she talking about? I cannot with it. And why would alcohol be banned but cigarettes not be banned? Aren't they just as toxic? Like how many people how many people really need a cigarette every single day, like as a necessity of life? Like I know they act like they do, but I mean, if you make the choice to start taking up the habit of smoking cigarettes, you need to be able to personally finance that choice. Okay, the American taxpayers don't need to finance your habits, especially not a habit that's so dangerous to your health. How about that? Now, this is why everyone is outraged. Okay, because whether or not she's telling the truth about how much she gets, or the fact or if she even gets it at all, to me, in the grand scheme of the conversation, it's really irrelevant, because if it's not her, there's somebody else out there who is on food stamps attempting to buy cigarettes, attempting to buy alcohol. There's somebody else on food stamps who is just really probably don't need to be on food stamps. And this is one thing that stood out to me, that, like I said, whether it's true or not, it's true for somebody. The whole 6 years thing, I know people personally that have been on government assistance for 6 years plus. And this is why I say some reform needs to happen. This is why I say whether or not she's telling the truth or not doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, like, some reform regarding the policies around who can get food stamps and for how long need to be in place. It doesn't need to be a open-ended benefit to where it's like, if you don't work and you can't afford food, then you'll just be able to get it forever, because people take that and they use that as a license to never get a job, especially if you couple this benefits package, because it comes off as a package to me. If you couple this package with all of the fully loaded benefits, like the food stamps, the Section 8, the cash aid, which is basically cash, which, by the way, you can buy cigarettes and alcohol with that, because that's basically cash. So, or maybe that's what she's talking about. I don't know. That could be what she's talking about. But she said food stamps, so I don't think she's talking about cash aid. And then, depending on how many kids you have and their age, daycare could come with it. Do you know that some people who do not work get free daycare? Can you please explain to me why you need free daycare at a daycare facility when you do not work? What are you doing while the kids are at daycare? What are you doing to where you can't care for the kids? This is what I'm talking about. In the United States, it's almost more beneficial for you to not work, because you get way more benefits. The benefits, to me, depending on your income bracket, the benefits could outweigh the benefits of you actually working a full-time gig, because I know that in the previous video, she said that she was getting 90% of her rent paid through Section 8. And I do believe that that's accurate as far as what they pay. Now, I'm going to use California as an example. California, for, I would say, the majority of the areas where people would want to live, like a 2-bedroom apartment goes for no less than $2,500 in a decent area. So let's use $2,500 as a baseline for the rent that I'm going to talk about. So let's just say your rent is $2,500 for a 2-bedroom apartment. That's not very big, but that is the going rate, because California is very expensive. If the government is going to pay 90% of that, you're only responsible for $250, right? So that leaves $2,750 for the government to pay. Why would I then go get a job making probably barely above minimum wage? That honestly, above minimum wage probably wouldn't even pay that rent anyway. So why go out and get a job to still not be able to afford the rent, when the government can pay for the rent? They can pay for my food. They can pay for probably, some fun stuff with the cash aid, like going to the movies and gas and, stuff like that. And then you might even get free childcare, free daycare. So your kids can go to school while you go back home and sit and watch Maury. So it's no wonder that people stay on these benefits for so long. It doesn't surprise me one single bit. I see the plot and I see, why people would do it. I'm not going to do it, but I see why other people do it. So, and this is where the outrage is really coming from, because like I said, regardless of the amount, the $4,000, because we don't believe that, right? I thought we all agreed that we don't believe that. So I'm going to say it in case I didn't say it already for the people in the back of the class who have not heard me. I don't believe she's getting $4,000. I don't know if she's on it, yes or no, but I do know that she's not getting $4,000. We can at least say that. But let's just say she is on it, not getting $4,000. She's in Michigan, which is like a lower cost state. I could see why somebody would stay on this, because you don't really need to get a job if you're on these benefits. And from what I know, there really isn't like a real set in stone time frame when they're going to cut you off. And I know that when you have kids, they're super lenient with how long you can be on. There are people who have been on Section 8 since I was born. Like literally, some of these apartments they have are passed down to other people. They don't own them, but they can, like the benefits, like one person is on it for so long and then their family moves in and then more people move in. It's just a thing. That's what they do. So the Section 8 list here is years long. To get on Section 8 in California, you're looking at a 2 or 3 year time frame on the list, like as a waiting period, because so many people are on it and so many people are still trying to get on it, and nobody wants to get off of it. That's the problem. Once people are on it, it takes them 2 or 3 years to get a place. You think they're going to get off of that anytime soon and give it the benefit? I think not. I'll take no for 500. So once you're in that position where the government is paying for pretty much your entire lifestyle, it's very hard for people to go out and get a job and, barely make ends meet and live paycheck to paycheck, because you could do that without working if you're on the government. So that's where most of this outrage is coming from. And that's why these videos are so popular, because it's very like one-sided, like the taxpayers are footing the bill for another group of people, but the other group of people are supposed to be on it for like a short period of time to get on their feet and to, make it a solid income to be able to pay for their own lifestyle and give back to other people who need that benefit temporarily. But that's not how it's working. What it is that there's taxpayers over here who are outraged because we're taking $300 out of their check a month, $400 a month in taxes to fund the lifestyles of these people who are never going to get their act together because they don't want to. There's no desire to. There's no positive outlook to do that. And not to mention now they're on TikTok doing grocery hauls. I've never ever seen a time in history where being on food stamps was so glamorized. It's literally being glamorized at this point. And she's in the video saying, what am I supposed to do? I thought the answer was obvious to that, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's not. But I think that you guys on this channel know what to do. You guys on this channel are in the comments saying exactly what she needs to do and how unfair it is. So at least there's some people out there with some, with some drive, who are not okay with this, because I really do think that these are rage videos, and understandably so. I think for her situation in particular, I think a lot of it is like satire. I think the amounts are embellished. I think some of the situations are embellished. I don't really think she was trying to buy cigarettes, because I don't even think you can do that. And I think she knows that too. But it at least strikes up this conversation, right? Because this is something that needs to be talked about. And it is something that has been needing reform for some time now. Because taking people's hard-earned money for taxes to fund, literally at this point, to fund the lifestyles, and I'm saying lifestyles because it has become a lifestyle. There are some people that get on the benefits with the intention and the strong desire to one day get off of it, right? There are some people who are not okay with being on it. They don't feel good about it. They don't feel like themselves. They don't feel accomplished. They don't feel successful while being on the benefits. But there are a lot of people, and I know some personally, trust me. In California, you know a lot of these people. There are some people who are on it, and it is a lifestyle. It is a choice. It is a flex, which I have never seen in history, but now it is a flex. And it's almost like the haves and the have-nots. If you're on these benefits, you got it pretty good, right? And you're never going to change that, because you know what it's like to have to go and apply for an apartment that wants you to pay $2,500 a month, but they want you to make twice the rent or sometimes 3 times the rent. So now you have to make $7,500 a month to even qualify for the apartment. And if you do make that amount, you're definitely not going to get free childcare, because you will not qualify for that. So it's almost like the more poor you are, the more you can get out of the government. So it benefits you to intentionally be impoverished. And I say intentionally because there are some people who are intentionally impoverished. And yes, I did say that, because it is true. Some people are. And you can say what you want about me, but I'm telling you that's how it is. There are some people out there that do this intentionally, and they brag about it on TikTok. And then we talk about it. So I hope you guys enjoy the content. If she posts anything else, we may talk about it again because she's just a gift that keeps on giving. We know this, right? So I hope you guys have a fantastic day. I hope you guys are doing okay. It's Tuesday. This week it seems to be dragging just a little bit. It feels like it should be Wednesday to me. But I think that you guys are here checking out the content. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good day.